Hello, everybody. How are we all doing? Welcome to Leeds Lowdown Live, in which I have a chat about all of the Leeds United related news and stuff, and if there's anything interesting that's been going on. And there have been a couple of things, but it's things where I can't really think to make like an entire video out of just that. So we'll have a little bit of a discussion on each of the bits and bobs, and it'll be a lovely, lovely fun time. If you are new here, by the way, I'd hugely appreciate just subscribe to the video. Be massively to the channel. Be massively appreciated. Really, really helps us to sort of head in the right direction. And yeah, let's get into it. First up, we need to talk a little bit about everyone's favorite, Tanaka. Tanaka is one of those players that we were going into the transfer window, and a lot of people were, for some reason, pulling out lines like, he's only in the second Bundesliga, so I don't know if he'll be any good, and even if he is good, is he going to have cost a little bit too much? Are we now in a position where we are all agreed that Tanaka is like the bargain of the season? In fact, I'm going to ask that. Because Tanaka is a ridiculous footballer. The numbers he put up, for example, today against China, where he played a full 90 minutes, which admittedly not ideal, but I don't mind the fact that he's consistently getting into that international squad. But in terms of what actually happened, very, very nice numbers. 98 touches, 76 passes, only 2 of which were not completed. Very, very nice. Did a lot of chance creation stuff. So 7 of those passes went into the final third. Had 6 long balls, all of them completed. Got involved in 5 tackles, got involved in 6 tackles, 5 of them won. I misread that. Very good with his aerial duels, won a decent number of fouls, and it's against a team which is not easy to play against. I say that in the way that you say that a Millwall are not easy to play against, or someone along those lines, someone that you know that you will play against them, and you will desperately hope that things end perfectly well for you. Sorry, it's very cold in here. But at the end of the day, it ain't necessarily going to pay off because you know that they're going to spend the entire match trying to kick your legs clean off. At the end of the day, he got away with it. He didn't get injured, wasn't taken off due to injury or anything like that, played through the entire match and performed to a very, very good level throughout. As Danny says, Tanaka played 97 minutes and he was absolutely immense. And the good thing this time is it's a little bit earlier in the week than it was last time. Last time he played on, I think, Wednesday morning. Needed to rush back for a match on Friday or something stupid like that. Not the case this time. So Tanaka will have plenty of time to get back, plenty of time to make sure he's completely fit. I hope he is completely fit because outside of that, we're going to have to start desperately looking at maybe starting Gilavogi. I wouldn't mind that too much because Gilavogi is very clearly a good footballer. But he's not the player that you necessarily go, oh, I want you to be starting matches for us right now, especially when the option is out Tanaka. Beyond that, there's a few more little bits to dive into. Jaden Bogle. It's the international break. Sorry, I like that. Wayne says Tanaka the tank. Absolutely perfect. Beyond that, we have a bunch of other players that are not on international duty, but they'll be doing training and stuff like that. And in this case, making media appearances. And in this case, Jaden Bogle, who has had a little bit of a chat. I can't recall who with. I'm going to have to check who did this interview. He appeared on the No Behaviour podcast this week, which I've never heard of, but it's coming right out of Jaden Bogle's mouth. So I think we take Jaden Bogle as a pretty good source for what Jaden Bogle says and thinks, in which he was speaking about the key difference he's noticed between last season versus this one. Last season, he noted that he played for Sheffield United, who, being at the lower end of the Premier League, was stuck playing in that low block time and time and time again. And I'm sure being a Sheffield United fan, that would have been a nightmare. Word for word, he said, a lot of teams, the season before, with Sheff, we were the team in the low block. We didn't have the greatest of seasons, but when we did make it hard for teams, it's horrible. It's tough to break down. So now you're playing against it. It's a relief when you get the first goal and it opens up the game. There were some tough games in that Prem. We played Arsenal. It was crazy. It was mad. Normally you're used to having the winger, the striker, maybe the number 10. They had fullbacks up there, the winger inside, number 10 striker, had a headache after the game. Mad. And then he sort of directly contrasts that with how his time at Leeds United is going, which is very good because he thinks that we are a very different thing to be dealing with compared to his time at Sheffield United, in which he said, a lot of teams we play, they know we want to keep the ball and they'll just sit in a low block, so it's difficult to break down. It is difficult to break down. Sorry. They played in a low block, but I'm not sure a lot of blocking was happening. That is absolutely the case. They played in a low. There was no blocking in the slightest, but they did their best. They tried. But now he's sort of on the other side, which is really useful for us because it says to me that, okay, he knows what it's like to play in a low block, so he knows what people in a low block hate to deal with. That's why I think we've seen a lot of Jaden Bogle getting very involved in attacks. Jaden Bogle saying, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit them quite hard on the overlap and see if that works out for us. And it is. Because Jaden Bogle getting to the byline, cutting it back, he scored, I think, 1 or 2 goals as well. He's doing a hell of a job from right back. Admittedly, his defensive stuff at the start of the season wasn't fantastic, but at the moment, defensively, I would say we are basically unmatched. There's a table I want to check, actually. It's going to be the form table for goals conceded in the Championship. And I'm going to check maybe the last 5 matches, something like that. Standings form. Last 5 matches. Goals against, we've conceded 2 in the last 5. The only other teams that are anywhere near that are Burnley, who have drawn 3 of those matches and won 1. They've got 6 points out of that, and we've got 10. Millwall, who have conceded once, scored 5 times. They're being Millwall. Let's be honest, there's nothing we can say to get around that. Millwall have scored a grand total of 1 goal in every single game that they have played for the last 5 matches, and they've conceded once, and it was against Stoke. They're annoying. And Sheffield United have also conceded 2. So we are one of the better defences in the league, and that has sort of come, in my opinion, from a lot of that evolution of Jaden Bogle. Becoming a version of Jaden Bogle that isn't just good bombing on, but he knows that he can trust the defenders behind him, the midfielders to drop in if they need. Hello, Mags. How's it going? Good to have you. It's quite football-y, so you might not be able to follow, but it's good to have you around. But this is a pretty good point, I think, from Clive. The criticism at the start of the season was effectively thinking that he would be a direct replacement for Archie Gray, where Archie was really good at the defensive stuff and would also get forward a bit. He tended to cut inside a little bit more, but that's not necessarily what you would get every single time. On the contrary, Bogle is someone that is effectively just a right midfielder who is nominally a right back, which is not too bad. We call it soccer. You monster. I thought South Africans called it football. But then I guess rugby being bigger, I guess that's also a football. I don't know. But on this, I think I agree. The criticism jumped at him very, very quick, very, very early. But we didn't give him time to settle in. And now he is bedded in. I think we're in a much more comfortable position. I think. Probably. But we'll find out, I suppose. I'm happy with the way that he's defending recently. I know that he's going to make the odd mistake, and I think a lot of the early critique came from the Portsmouth match where I think he was to blame for 2 of those goals. But who knows? We'll find out. Beyond the Bogle thing, I'm going to hop a little bit further down the script. I'm going to go a little bit early, and I'm going to go with the Rodon's head thing. Joe Rodon played for Wales in their most recent match. Now I'm going to see if I can do a little bit of cheeky skirting around YouTube's fun little copyright thing. Wales highlights. If you can remember what specific match it was, that'd be very useful. Turkey, I believe. Is there a highlight of the big head bonk? No, I've got Rodon getting a yellow card. But I've not got Rodon getting concussed. Hello, Iris. She's decided to say hello. But either way, Joe Rodon went up for a header, and as did his colleague in the Wales side. Bumped heads quite hard, and Rodon did that thing where he's probably gotten concussed again. We know that this happens. It happens time and time again. Because Joe Rodon is Joe Rodon, and it's really a pain in the arse. But he seems to have come out of it okay. He put out what was reportedly a man of the match performance from a lot of people in the media, which is really, really nice to see. But for me, the big concern is making sure that he doesn't keep getting these concussions, because he seems to be someone that's happy to just throw himself all the way into any 50-50. Whilst that is really nice, I'd rather he wasn't doing that for Wales, because if he keeps doing that for Wales, oh boy, is he going to turn his head into mush, and that's not very good. Need a don't know option. You Googled it. That's completely fair enough, to be honest with you. I think a lot of Leeds fans need a don't know opinion. Yeah, to be fair, I need a don't know opinion 90% of the time. The tip is, if you're fancying doing YouTube-y things or streamy things, pretend you know what you're talking about, and people will tend to go with you. Also, YouTube is shouting at me to run an ad. As always, I'm going to run the same bit of advice as I always do. I'm going to click the ad button. What I'm going to suggest is, if you click on the ad and immediately swipe back, you will come back to the video. It will lead to the advertiser paying more money to YouTube, and YouTube paying more money to me, whilst you are immediately back to the stuff. Also, tell me what advert pops up. I'm always really interested in seeing what gets suggested to you. Anyway, that is going to run about 3, 2, 1. Now, and I'm going to give everyone a minute or so they can get back from it. But if you have been advertised to, let me know when you return. That would be very, very useful. The main star Iris is here. The main star Iris is currently walking across my desk and potentially causing a mess. I'd much rather she didn't do that, because that tends to be a little bit of a problem. Oh, okay, never mind. She seems to have found out a thing recently where my PC is very, very toasty, because I need to clean out the fans and stuff like that. But she's sort of using it as a belly heater, which is really nice, because it means that she just sort of sits right there, and it's really cute. My advert was about sledges. Sledges? Why are you getting sledge adverts? That's so specific. I don't understand. But anyway, we can get back into things, because I imagine the vast majority of people are back by now. With Joe Rodon, the message is basically, look after yourself a little bit more, because the more you keep banging your head like that, the more you are going to end up with concussions, and the more you end up with concussions, the more you're going to damage your career in the long term. And we could really do without that, because it's been snowing. It has, to be fair. Really mad at that as well, because living in Blackpool, it never snows because the air is ridiculously salty. Except for when I'm playing 7-a-side last night, and it's basically a blizzard. That was a nightmare. That was a horrible nightmare. And it was the same week that I'd forgotten to bring thermals. I'd forgotten to bring a nice woolly hat. I've got my square ball hat somewhere. I'd forgotten to pack my nice square ball hat. And I just froze. It was a really bad day. But we got through it. We lost 6-5. Got a couple of assists, though, which was quite nice. But moving on from Joe Rodon's head and the fact that my temperature regulation is absolutely dreadful, we need to talk a little bit about how I'm quite mad at Victor Orta. Victor Orta has been speaking with the Spanish press a little bit. And normally you see Victor Orta talks to the press and you think this is going to be a problem for someone. And in this case, it's a problem for our memories, because we're all looking back and thinking, Orta wasn't great, quite good at buying youth players, but aside from that, pretty dreadful outside of Rafinha. We had a little bit of a conversation about that on my stream fairly recently. In this specific case, he has talked about how, under his regime, Leeds United did not sign Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres being the striker that is setting Portugal alight at the minute. He got a hat-trick against Manchester City. I'm going to make sure that is it Victor Gyökeres? I think it's Victor. Yeah, it's with a K, so it didn't pop up. So I'm going to check his FB ref information since we didn't sign him. Remember, season and a half ago, I want to say basically 2 seasons ago, we chose to sign Jorginho Rutter instead of Gyökeres. Rutter put us back about 42 million euros, give or take, something like that. And Orta's reasoning for us not signing Gyökeres at the time was he didn't want to risk spending 14 million euros, a third of a Jorginho Rutter, by the way, on someone that was relatively unproven in the top divisions. And fair enough, I understand this. Until you look at what he's done since, even what he did at the time. At the time, he was halfway through a season in which he was scoring 17 goals for Coventry at a hell of a rate. Let's be honest, 17 goals in the Championship ain't half bad. Then last season, I'm really mad at him. I'm genuinely pissed off at him. Last season, Gyökeres for Sporting in Portugal. A lot of people say Sporting Lisbon. It's just Sporting. I think it's Sporting Clube de Portugal, but it's in the same way that a lot of people just get club names wrong. Like, it's not Inter Milan, it's Internazionale, but let's go with Sporting. He played 33 matches, started 32, scored 29 times. It's a hell of a lot of goals to score. No, wait, that wasn't even right. Sorry. The season before we tried to sign him, he got 17. The season where we did try to sign him, he scored 21 goals. So he's very clearly very consistent and very good. And then instead of coming to Leeds, which would have been really nice and very probably saved us from relegation, he went to Sporting, where in his first season, he scored 29 goals in the league alone. That's not counting in Europe. This season, I'm going to have a proper look at this, and I'm going to look at his all competitions data, because it's going to be absolutely wild. This season, in all competitions, he has played 20 times. Started all of them, and that is including international matches. In those 20 games of football that he's played, there are only 4 he hasn't scored a goal in. 4. That being in a 3-0 win against Estoril, a 1-1 draw against PSV, a 4-2 win against Braga, and a 2-0 win against Porto. No, wait, that's the wrong one. Where am I looking? I can't read, which I call a problem. No, wait, one for Sweden, where it was a 2-2 draw against Slovakia. Even against Manchester City, he got 3. Against Estrella, he got 4. He got another hat-trick against Firenze. We could have signed this guy for a third of what we signed Jorginho Ruter for. And at the meantime, this is a good point, yeah. The Orange Raider. Victor Orta said we'd sign the best of the Championship. This guy is very distinctly the best of the Championship and would cost something like 14 million euros and was very, very, very attainable. And we didn't do it. Because we were looking after the budget and making sure that we were financially viable. Later that season, we paid Sam Allardyce £500,000 for 4 games of football. 4. Victor, you fucking dolt. What are you doing? Oh! Idiot. And I think Monkey Spy puts it right. He set our clubs back years with his decisions. If he just signs Ruter, if he signs Gyökeres instead of Ruter, we potentially stay up. Because look at this guy's goal return. And even if we don't, we've got Gyökeres in the Championship, which he will have just come from, so he's not going to mind playing in the Championship. And admittedly, we wouldn't have had Georgie last season. But that's okay. You cannot have players sometimes. It's fine. And you look even further back. If we wouldn't have signed Jesse Marsch, we would have been great. Even at the start of the season that Bielsa got sacked, sign more than 2 players. Sign more than Junior Firpo and Jack Harrison. And things would have been fine. But instead, we didn't sign the best of the Championship. We signed the wrong choices. We signed Weston McKennie for some reason. And we ended up in the Championship. And we ended up with an obscenely large bill. He put his money where his mouth is, sort of. 1 second. He put the club's future money where his mouth is, to the point that this last summer we've had to sell a fuck ton of players in exchange for not having much of a budget in return, because we're trying to fix what happened under Victor Orta. And this is sort of fair. Orta's decisions also took us forwards, but he was hit and miss. 2 two of Orta's decisions took us forwards. The decision to sign Arlo's having a hell of a time. The decision to sign Marcelo Bielsa being one of them. And I will be 1 second. I'm just going to deal with it. I'll call it a technical difficulty. I'll be back in a moment. I'm back. I am back. Hello, amigos. Oh, yeah. Cool. And that. Bosh. We're back. So, two decisions took us forwards. Many decisions took us backwards. There's also this. We could have got Watkins. We could have got Gvardiol. And we decided, actually, no. We'll sign Diego Llorente rather than Josko Gvardiol. Brilliant. Well done, lads. God. Orta. Anyway, aside from the Victor Orta stuff, we've got a couple of other bits to go at. Mainly a quick journey via another side, and then a little bit of discussion on a questions corner. But the quick journey via another side is going to be Coventry, because Coventry, very, very, very funny to me. Coventry sacked their manager, who's been there for quite a while and is a very, very good manager and very effective at getting the most out of a squad. Brilliant. Now, if you think about managers that are good at getting the most out of a squad and really good at using the resources that they've got, and they don't need to spend huge in order to perform, you're probably talking like a Bielsa, or there's a hell of a lot in the Premier League that you could think of, like a Graham Potter, someone like that. That's not where Coventry went. No. Coventry's decision, Coventry's choice, is Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard, who has performed reasonably in maybe 2 seasons. One decent season at Chelsea, and one season in which he got a Derby side that had Mason Mount and Fikayo Tomori into the playoffs and didn't get promoted. It's kind of not good. So Coventry signing Frank Lampard as their manager is genuinely headache-inducing and is potentially the worst decision that I've seen for an extended period of time. I have been asked to do another poll, by the way, because Arlo lost his nut because Kayla had returned home. And Kayla would like to ask everyone a question. Because Kayla decided to treat me to a jumper. This jumper. I really like this jumper. So, she wants to know what you guys think. So, what do we all think of the jumper? Is it perfect? 10 out of 10. Is it a very good jumper? Is it a good jumper? Or does it come under not for me? I really like this jumper. And you got to remember, it's a Prezi. Be nice to Mrs. Blackburn. But outside of the laughing at Coventry, sacking Robbins after 8 is to appoint Fat Frank is just I do not believe that they've done that. I can't understand why they've done it. It's madness. I wouldn't have done that at all. Because he's very, very good. Robbins. And then they're like, actually, no, not Robbins. We'll go with the guy that got Chelsea to be like 13th. What are you doing? Make good choices. Please make good choices. Lunatics. Anyway. Well, some of my granddad wore in the 40s. Had a jumper like that. Yeah, but I like granddad jumpers, so... you need average as an option. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But we got to go to a lovely place. Our favourite place. Hold on. YouTube shouting at me again. It's saying to do an advert again. So, you know the drill. Click on it, swipe back, and you'll be back immediately. The advertiser needs to pay more money. YouTube get more money, but as do I, and the only person losing out is the advertiser, and it gets you back to the stuff faster. I'm going to run it about nowish. In 3, 2, 1. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of filler stuff. I'm gonna do a little bit of hush talk. We're gonna chillax until the people are back. And then when the people are back, let me know when you're back. And then hopefully people will reply to that, and it'll be very helpful, I think. Because if they don't, then that would be really rather useless of them. Because sod it, we kind of need to know when things are finishing. It's too hot for jumpers. Yeah, but we can't all live in the southern hemisphere. If we did, it'd get weirdly crowded. Wayne is back from his ads. Kinder Pingui? What's a Kinder Pingui? Are you all set for Christmas? Not quite. I've got lots of presents to buy. Did I start it? I did. If you've got YouTube Premium, you won't get it. Or if you've got Adblock, you won't get it. Very quick ad. I'm glad it was very, very quick. But yes. Anyway, now we're going to hop over to our favourite place. We're going to head over to Questions Corner, which is always a fun place to go. It's the place where we go if you've got any questions of any form about Leeds stuff or the world of football stuff or channel stuff or just abstract philosophy we've done before. That was fun. That was the stream that we started at like 11:30 at night and it ended up running till like 1 a.m. and everyone was like, what's the meaning of life? I don't know. But whilst you are here, bosh. But whilst you're here, I've done a little banner thing. If you've not done it yet, pop a like on the stream. That's always really appreciated. Or subscribe, or comment, or even be a member of the channel. It's 99p. You get loads of little perks and things. I'm a cheesy bastard sometimes. But let's have a quick look. I still don't know what Kinder Pingui means. Some sort of penguin-related Kinder... Oh, okay. Should we be worried about Rodon's head injury? It depends on concussion checks. If concussion checks are going to be a problem, then we need to be a bit worried because that means that we're delving into more centre-backs. which we don't have lots of at the minute. I mean, Giavogi can play as a centre-back, but I'd much rather we didn't have to play him as one. Other than that, you're looking at Voba, who apparently put in like a man-of-the-match performance for Austria recently, which isn't going to be a problem. Yeah, I'm optimistic. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. I'll be completely honest with you. Blue Sky X. Blue Sky, easy. It's less full of bots and racists, and it's not run by someone that A, doesn't know how to run companies, B, doesn't know how to run governments, and C, has been put in charge of running governments. Oh no. But that's why I'm hiding over on Blue Sky at the minute. I kind of prefer it. It's a lot more chilled as well, the general vibe. I'm going to pop my Blue Sky now. If you're not following me on Blue Sky, do that. And if you've not got Blue Sky, get it. It's far more chill. And people are less arguing. It's really nice and chill and calm and soothing. You should play FM. I might play FM either later or on a stream tomorrow. I've not decided quite yet. I don't know if I'm going to tomorrow. Holy! Thank you very much, Wayne, for gifting 5 memberships to Aisha, Chris Watkinson, John Oates, Liam Raymond, and G60 Nick. Thank you very much, Wayne. I really appreciate that. Really helps the channel to sort of chug along. But yeah, I'll get to doing a little bit more FM stuff further down the line. It's more of a when I don't have anything to stream, I'll do a little bit of FM. But tomorrow I've got Leeds 101, which is already in the diary. What else have I got? I've got lots and lots of meetings, so it might just be Leeds 101 tomorrow. I might try and do a video for tomorrow, depending on if there's any other news floating around the ether. Got to have a couple of chats with a few people as well about Balls Knowledge, for which I've got a couple of people worth recorded already, but not much more than that. Do you think Ramazani starts this weekend? I don't think so. I think it'd be a little bit too early. I think you got to play him back into fitness rather than just full committing, and I can see that being a little bit of a problem for us if we do go back to the world of rush people back, and that's how you end up just losing players for extended periods, like with Pat Bamford, who has been very, very injured for a very, very long time, and let's be honest, we all know why, because he kept being rushed back and hasn't been properly fit for a good while. When's that acceptable to wear Christmas jumpers? Christmas jumpers. For the sake of my own safety and the fact that Kayla wants to put the decorations up tomorrow, mid-November. That's what I'm going to say. Mid-November. For me, Christmassy stuff starts when you've watched one of Die Hard or Muppets Christmas Carol or Love Actually. One of those, and it becomes Christmassy. I tend towards Die Hard, I'll be honest with you. It's very, very good. When the Christmas songs come on the radio, you can wear a jumper. It's a very fair rule. Yeah, I get that. Best time to wear it is when Christmas is over. You monster. And yeah, Die Hard. It's fantastic. Genuinely a very, very good film. Do we do a watch along for Die Hard? Imagine. I'm split on best Christmas film. It is one of Die Hard or Love Actually. I can't pick which of the two. Twitch film. Twitch movie watch party. Is that still a thing? Oh, no. Shit. Twitch used to run things called watch parties where they would basically, if anything was on Amazon Prime, you could do a Twitch stream where the Prime thing would show alongside the streamer that is doing the watch along, who could control the volume and pausing and all that sort of stuff, and it could be a nice chat, and you'd all watch the film together if you had an Amazon Prime account. They got rid of that in April, and that would have been so damn good. But we are not doing that because Amazon hates us and our hopes and our dreams. Is the only way that I can put that. I'll try and do similar, but we'll find out. Best Christmas film is Leeds 4, Ipswich 0. Oh, that'd be wonderful. Imagine if we get them in the FA Cup and just hammer them. That'd be really, really nice. Home Alone's my favourite Christmas film. What else? I think I've overwatched Home Alone to the point where it's just, I don't click or vibe with it quite as hard as I did, which is a problem. Is that the one that I've not watched? Because, yeah, National Lampoon, I've not watched, and I've not watched it on purpose, and I've not watched it specifically because Chevy Chase is a dick. That's the only way that I can put that. On, I believe, Community, it was said basically consistently that Chevy Chase is like a real bad person, both to work with and generally. So I'm firmly on the side of I ain't watched that, and I don't think I will watch that for an extended period of time. But that's okay. Cool. Sorry, just had to check a work thing wasn't broken. Cool. It isn't broken. Nice. Homer's... No. Oh, that'd be why. Wait, hold on. I've got to check something. I got to do some numbers. Right, I got 476, and then because I really badly want to dunk on Donald Trump, but I want to make sure that my numbers are right. Oh, that'd be why Home Alone 2 got lower box office numbers. There we go. But aside from that, if anyone has any more questions, whack them in the chat. That's always hugely appreciated. And we'll have a little bit of a natter about absolutely anything. As we've just seen, we're talking Christmas now. Why not? Might as well. And it always feels like we're just losing our mind, I'd say. But in a fun way, you know? Violent Night is the best horror Christmas film. Has Home Alone pranks in it. Awesome. I don't think I've seen that one. Have I? Is Die Hard classed as a Christmas film? Yes. It's about families coming together at Christmas. There we go. That's all you need. And it's set at Christmas. Simple. Even more controversial opinion. Hold on. I kind of want to see opinions on the Die Hard one first. So I'm going to poll that. Is Die Hard a Christmas film? Yes, no. Blazed, that is stupid and short-sighted. And you know that. And I'm taking that as a question. Because why are there so many no's? What's going on? Because, right, think of it from this perspective. Leeds United sacked Daniel Farke. Brilliant. You've got what you want. Well done. What's the next step? And I know everyone's response to this is, it's not my job to pick who we sign as manager instead. Fine, that's okay. All good. But you should at least have some idea of who would be better. And if you say Carlos Corberán, you've not been paying attention to the Championship this season. West Brom are currently 10th and have won one in their last 7 or 8 or something like that. But the question beyond that, which doesn't involve asking you specifically who you want to sign, is why would they want to come? And you can make this argument, you can make this big statement of, well, Leeds United, and we've got a great squad, and we're going to be in the Premier League next year, and all that stuff. Fine. Brilliant. Well done. The actual question from that point that you need to ask is, why would they see us as a viable team to go to? Because your argument is, if we're not top by Christmas, we sack Daniel Farke. Say we're second place on goal difference, and you're still saying, well, we're not top of the league, let's get rid of Daniel Farke. Would any of those managers look at Leeds United and go, actually, that looks like a viable place for me to go? Or would they, from their current, let's be honest, they've got a lot of money, from their currently very, very cushy homes, Yeah, I was looking at the wrong table. I was looking at the form table rather than the actual league table. They are 5th. That's on me. But they're looking from their very, very cushy homes, and do they really want to go into a club where even if you're performing at a good enough level to get promoted, you've got no job security? No, you absolutely do not want to do that. So look at it from sort of a common sense point of view. Like a reputational perspective, that would be suicide for the club. That would be madness. And it would just do a lot of damage. Especially since we are currently 2 points off the top of the table on better form than Sunderland. We're fine. And I think if we're 2nd or 3rd by Christmas, that's still okay. The fact that we always just jump to, let's do the most drastic thing. I feel like a lot of people that are making the argument of sack Daniel Farke wouldn't... Would they have sacked Marcelo Bielsa sooner? Is my question. Or are you at the point where you don't like the style of play, so you're saying, well, we got to get rid? No one has job security these days. You have to back yourself. I mean, sure, but at the same time, those same managers would look for less of a basket case club. Because no doubt that is how we would be perceived if we're in 2nd or 3rd place and sack our manager. That would be insanity. I do not understand the argument behind it. I do need to quickly check something there. Because there is one player where I would go, if we were to sack Daniel Farke, I would probably lean in that direction, but I feel like nobody would guess who said player is for me. In fact, I want to see if people guess of who my potential replacement, if we were to end up without Daniel Farke for a while, would be. Kind of curious. Yeah, there is this as well. It doesn't matter. If we don't win the first game, we've got problems. If Boring wins games and gets results, but yeah, it's pretty fair. But I'm gonna make a bet that nobody can guess who I would be picking up. Alfred Schroeder. No, it would not be Schroeder. And it's a player that I am absolutely certain we would actually be able to get. He's currently at Al Nassr. There's no chance we get Schroeder. Liam Rosenior. Nope. Ten Hag. Also nope. Also, hey, Carol. Hadn't seen you yet. We went for slot. We did. And we didn't pick him up. Which was probably a mistake. But mistakes happen. It's fine. I'm going to end the Is Die Hard a Christmas film poll because it's currently 50-50. You know, quite like that. That's a perfectly balanced argument. But my big controversial take when it comes to Christmas films, Iron Man 3 is a Christmas film. Not 2 or 1, but Iron Man 3 specifically is a Christmas film because it's set at Christmas. It's about the family coming together, mending yourself. It's a Christmas film. No, it's not your horrible spelling of Ruud van Nistelrooy. It's someone that I'm absolutely certain that almost no one will be aware of at the minute. But I am convinced that he is going to be going to a bigger side than the one he's at the minute at some point. What's his contract like, actually? He's on a 3-year deal, so it's till 2027. Potter, not Potter. Not Pablo, weirdly. Just do what Wednesday did when they got promoted from League One. I think they get... No, but that's pointless. You see how that's pointless, right? Because again, outsider managers look at that and go, what are you doing? I'm not going to go there. And this is stupid. People complain about the style of play when we've got Daniel Farke and then say, actually, you know what we should do? We should sign Jose Mourinho. Sorry? What? You're not liking our current results first approach. So your response is Jose Mourinho. Sean, please. Also, it's shouting to do ads again, so I'm going to quickly click it. But you know what to do. Click on it, swish back. It'll be all good. Bueno. Kjetil Knutsen. I don't know who that is. I'll have a look. Kjetil Knutsen. Another name. Don't know how he manages. Bodo Glimt. He's been there for a good while, though, so it'll be hard to shift. I don't know, though. That's the thing. I don't know. I know for a fact that Mourinho hasn't really managed a side that has been relatively low in its respective table. Sean, yeah, that would be a problem. That would be stupid. Okay, well done. So what you've done is you've sacked a manager to get an equivalent manager that is just more expensive. And we complain at Victor Orta for making stupid signings that cost too much money? Okay. Daft. Wild. No. The bloke that I am looking at is Jimmy Thelen, who is a Swedish football coach and former player who manages currently Aberdeen. Now, you might think, what the hell? Why would you want the guy that's managing Aberdeen? They are currently 11 matches into the season, so I think they've played absolutely everyone once. And they're still unbeaten, which is insanity. They are level on points with Celtic, a fairly big chunk of the way into the season. This guy is absolutely going to go to the moon when it comes to his next appointment. For context, his side have scored more goals than Rangers in Scotland. Very, very, very good manager. So I wouldn't do getting rid of Farke. I think that would be insanity, and it would make it very difficult for anyone to accept an offer from us. Yes, because the point is, no matter who you are managing, they are managing against a certain tier. Aberdeen, I would argue, probably mid-table championship side. And he's got them to a place where they're outperforming Rangers and equal on points with Celtic. People are saying, why didn't we pick up the clever managerial appointments in the past? Why did we end up with Jesse Marsh? It's because we're in a position where we're like, oh, well, you see, Jesse Marsh has won top-tier championships for RB Salzburg. Might not have the gold, but you need to look at the impact that they've had on the side. Marcelo Bielsa hasn't really won any big silverware. Didn't hugely complain when we signed him, though. Yeah, basically this. Let's not throw money at sacking people that don't need sacking. Sean. The point still stands. And in that case, it's even more impressive because he's got a side that is of League One standard to be performing better than a Champions League team with obscene amounts of cash behind them. Basically this. Yeah. Good managers have come out of the Scottish League and will continue to come out of the Scottish League. It's truth. It is fact. No matter how you're looking at it. And it's just a question of, do we want to keep chasing the big names like a Jose Mourinho who is comfortably past his sell-by date? Or do you want to be, admittedly, taking a little bit of a risk on someone that is a smaller name, but is a smaller name that has evidence behind him being quite good? That's the question for me. Tried to gaslight us into thinking Marsh was a Bielsa replacement. I remember that. That was pain. Oh, God. A throwback to the days of Orta. Anyway, I'm going to return us to Questions Corner because I'm going to be popping the stream to a close in a few minutes. I'm also going to redo the reminder of, if you haven't yet, pop a like on the stream. It's a very easy thing to do. It's one click. As is subscribing, you should also do that. And also do a comment if you're watching this after the fact, or become a channel member. 99p a month. You can get involved in things like Balls Knowledge, which we have the next episode's member person recorded. Member, do not spoil that you are in it. because that could also lead to spoiling the theme thing. In addition to that, you get a bunch of videos early, and it's real good and stuff. Do that. Like Gerrard winning a Scottish League with said Champions League club. Look how Gerrard did. Yeah, but that's the point. He started in the really good club. I've just clicked on the wrong thing. He started in the really, really good club, and he underperformed. On the other hand, this guy has started in the really, really bad club and is overperforming, which is down to a manager. That's my point. This is the evidence here. It's about performing relative to where you should. When's last week's Balls Knowledge out? I still need to do a bunch of recordings for it because obvious reasons with some of main cast people. Probably towards the end of the week. It depends on when I've got a chance to do editing and stuff like that. It will come out. I need, yeah. You understand why it's a little bit of a challenge. It's a very, very good topic this week as well. I think it was very fun. But it's in the category of it might end up getting canned. I'm not certain. It depends on being able to get in touch with people, I think is the way to put that. But anywho, I shall return us to Questions Corner. We'll do one more question, and then I will be calling the stream there because it's been a very nice evening, but I have a curry to cook. And thankfully, I've not got much to chop because last time I tried to chop stuff, I still can't feel my fingertip. But yeah. I've enjoyed this stream. It's been good. It's been weird. We've had a little bit of a talk about Christmas bits for some reason. We had a bit of a talk about absolutely everything, basically. And we'll call this the question, what curry? We are just doing a basic mushroomy one because Asda didn't have any chicken in, which is sort of annoying. When am I back at church? I'm not. My next match isn't at Elland Road. It's the away match at Blackburn, which should be good, which is on the 30th. I might be working that evening, so that could make things difficult. I had a Durban curry before. I have not had a Durban curry before. That is a little bit spooky. I'm going to have a look at a recipe now, actually. Oh, that looks kind of good. Oh, it's a potato-y curry. Served on bread? Oh, no, rice. I don't know why it's showing with bread. Oh, well. So it's a how much for you? Ha! Oh, dear. Anyway, I'm going to call the stream now. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, just pop a like on it, subscribe, channel member, all that fun stuff. I will be back at the very least tomorrow to do a live stream. I think we've got Leeds 101 planned. Maybe we'll do a video to come out in the morning. Not certain. I might stream recording that. I'm not certain yet. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. No, in fact, is there anyone that I'm able to host? Sorry, I should have sorted this beforehand, shouldn't I, realistically? Cool. There is a YouTuber that I'm aware of that runs a ferret sanctuary. Let's go and watch some ferrets. Yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Toodaloo.